Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and wherever you're watching from. You are welcome. The pay. What is the pay like for a teaching assistant? Now, this is the bit that is not so exciting because the pay isn't much, to be honest. It is not much. For me, I believe that for the amount of work that a teaching assistant puts into the class, into the children, and the amount of help that they render to the teacher, for me, I don't think that the pay is good enough. Okay, so for teaching assistant, you might earn anything from about 8,000 to 21,000. Okay, so you might earn more, say 14,000 to 21,000 in a year. Now for that 21,000, that is that at that range you are a highly qualified teaching assistant. So for you to go across that threshold of 20, then that means you are a highly qualified teaching assistant, which is not, with anything from 40, that's not a lot of money. 14,000 divided by 12 is not a lot of money. But monthly, breakdown monthly is you might earn anything from about 600 to 1,000 pounds as a teaching assistant per month, and this is a full-time teaching assistant. So it depends. Some people do full-time, some people do part-time. It all depends, but roughly what you'll be getting in a month is between 600 pounds to 1,000 pounds per calendar month. So this is why you need to really think carefully if it's a job that you want to do, and maybe if you've got other means, maybe you can take up other side jobs. Again, the trick with this is because it's a day job, you might struggle to combine it with another day job, but you might take on a night role, a night job, to help kind of boost the pay. For instance, if you've got family, you've got children, you've got bills to pay, or you haven't got a partner, then sadly that wouldn't be enough to cover all of your expenses. So that at this point in time, there you might have to find another job, maybe a night job or something, to help to boost your pay, because to be honest, the pay is not enough, and I think that they should have enough for what they put in. I mean, it's like they know every nitty gritty that goes on in that class. They know where things are. They know where you find things. They are being pulled left, center, right for me. And I believe that they need to earn much more than what they have been paid. But sadly, that is the teaching cap for teaching assistants at the moment. So what are the skills that you need? You need to show that you've worked with children before, or that you can work with children and that you are good with children. You need to show that you can also work with other adults, because now you are going to be working with a teacher, working collaboratively with a teacher. So if you can't do this, if you're someone who's used to working on your own, then you might struggle with a job like that, because as I said, you are working with the teacher and with the children, as well as other teaching assistants in the school. And if you're in a school whereby they have less teaching assistants which they share across, then this is a skill that you must have to be able to work with other people and different children, because you don't know what you might meet in the next class. So now, is there a shortage of teaching assistants in the UK? Absolutely yes, there is a shortage of teaching assistants, because they don't tend to stay longer in the job. Number one, it is quite a lot, even though you're not planning, you're not teaching, but it is still quite a lot of work to do every single day in the class. And because the pay is not so good, then you find out that people are constantly moving in the job, because they come in and think, okay, well, I can do 9 to 3 is fantastic. It's short. Then I have from 3 p.m. to whatever to do anything I want to do for the rest of the day. And then they come and they realize, oh my God, the pay is very little. So then they leave. So people are constantly moving, or maybe they're in a difficult school where the children are so difficult and they can't cope, then they leave. So teaching assistants are constantly moving and being employed, leaving jobs. So there is a shortage and a shortfall. And because sometimes they think, okay, I can earn more in certain places, so therefore I'm better off going to those places where I can spend 2-3 days and I will earn much more than that. So there is a shortfall. But again, teaching assistants' role are filled quite quickly as well. So even though there is a shortfall because people are constantly moving, as well as teachers, they're constantly moving. But you find out that it is easier to employ a teaching assistant than it is to employ a teacher, because again, you don't need quite a lot of qualification to be able to get onto the role. Now, is the government sponsoring people to come into the UK as a teaching assistant? This is something that I haven't seen, something that I haven't heard. If there's anyone out there maybe who's had experience of being offered the job as a teaching assistant from an international country and with sponsorship, please let me know. I would like to find out and know a bit more about how you got on with that. It is not one that at the moment they are sponsoring for you to come all the way from overseas for a job. It's not. Yes, there is a shortage, but it's not huge enough to warrant the sponsorship. And again, because it is not a highly skilled, I'm trying to put this in the right way, not to offend anybody. So since it's not a highly skilled profession, like a professional job like doctors, teachers, nurses, I don't think you get sponsorship for those outside of the UK. So I think they'll rather use people in the UK to fill the job than going to get sponsorship from outside the country to be able to do that. But as I said, I don't know. Maybe somebody might have been able to get a job as a teaching assistant overseas and come into the country. I don't know. But if there is anyone out there and you have, please get in touch with me. I'd like to find out a bit more about it. Now, I think it's very easy for you to get into a teaching assistant role once you are in the UK. But from outside the UK, I can't say, and I don't think it's possible. But once you are in the UK, it's a job that you can get easily. When I say easily, yours depends on the school, and yours depends what you're offering, and yours depends on your skills. So please do not quote me on that. But it's a job that you can get once you are in the UK. You can apply to become a teaching assistant. Now, I did talk about the apprenticeship before. Now, the UK government is funding this apprenticeship program for teaching assistants. So you join the apprenticeship scheme, and the government pays the school to pay you in order to become a teaching assistant. Now, at the end of your apprenticeship, it can lead to a high-level teaching assistant or a level 3 teaching assistant, which again, the pay is more within the range of 21,000 thereabouts. So this is what the government is doing, but they're only offering it for people who are already inside the UK. So those who have the who can work and live in the UK. So they're not offering it to overseas candidates, because I've had a good look on the internet and I can't see where they're offering to overseas. When I looked, all the adverts says you must be in the UK, you must live in the UK, and you must be able to work in the UK. So it's something that the government is rolling out at this point in time, which you can apply for, and then you get paid. Some schools want you to do 5 days a week of that. Some schools might say, okay, you do 1 day in school and then you do 1 day in college or something, just to get the skills that you need outside of school training. So, but as I said, at the moment, it's not being offered outside of the UK. So for those of you who've been asking me, oh, how can I come into the country to become a teaching assistant and get sponsorship? Sorry to say, at the moment, it is not happening. Sponsorship at the moment is for teachers, primary and mostly secondary, because I think that's where the highest shortfall is in the secondary section, where they're getting sponsorship. But as a teaching assistant, I haven't seen. I've looked all through, I can't find any. But as I said, if there's someone out there, please get in touch with me. Okay, I hope this has answered all of your questions. For those of you asking for teaching assistant role and how to get in. Again, just to say before I end this video, if also you want to become a teacher and you're from overseas and you're not sure what to expect, a teaching assistant role is a good way to get into school, to see what happens in school before you can then go on to apply to do your teacher training. Okay, because with that you get to see a lot more, you learn skills, you have a bit more experience on the job before then you go into apply to become a teacher. So it's a good one for those who have in the future want to become a teacher in the UK, but they're not sure where to start from, what to do, what it's like. And if you want to answer all of your questions, I think that's the best role. That's the best way for you to be able to get in to schools. So again, for those of you who are in the UK already, Africans, wherever you come from overseas, and you're looking to become a teacher, teaching assistants could be the best way for you to get in, to have a glimpse of what happens in school, to be able to tell if it's what you want to do or not before you eventually go in and pay all that money to get your teacher training and all of that. And then you go and say, oh, actually, this is not what I'm expecting. So I hope this has answered all of your questions. And again, if it hasn't, leave a comment in the section with your questions, or comment in the section comments of this video, and I will address those as soon as I can. Again, you've got my email on the comment section. If you've got any questions and you want to get in touch, please reach me through my email, which I'm going to be putting down in the comment section below this email. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye.